name is Ochanya Ogbanje. She's currently late. That means she's dead. When she was just 8 years old, this girl said she's 13 years old. She was not up to the age of this girl. Most of us here, we are here from our guardians, our aunties. We are living with our aunties, not with our parents. They sent us to go and stay with our aunties. The husband of the auntie she went to stay with and the son, a grown-up man, raped her severally.
2013, when I was 5 years old, I went to my mother's sister's house to school because there was no school in my village. So when I went there, when I was 8, the son started sleeping with me. Then when the sister caught him, the sister then reported him to the father. Then the father scolded at him, and that was when the father started. So September, when I went to school, I was not feeling fine, so I came back home. I went to Federal Medical Center in Makurdi here. I spent 2 months and 5 days there, so they discharged us. When I now came home, then that was when I told my mother that when I was in my uncle's house, my uncle and his son, they were sleeping with me.
Sometime in June, this case was reported to me. She was very sick, and when we began to make our findings, we discovered that she was actually raped by one Victor, who is a son to the guardian where she was staying.
Now, so many questions on my mind. Where is our judicial system? What of our collective responsibilities? Where was Ochanya's aunt when all this sexual molestation and assault were happening in her own home? Right under her nose. Is it that she wants to keep her marriage? Therefore, she will not speak against her husband and son's atrocity? Where is our moral conscience? As a result of this, lots of protests have been launched across the country to demand justice for Ochanya and also stand up for other children who are sexually abused every day. There are millions of Ochanya amongst us. Say no to child abuse. Say no to sexual abuse.
There are people right now in our neighborhoods, probably in our houses, going through the same thing. And people are silent because they want to protect marriages. They keep quiet. What marriage are you protecting when you have a predator you are living with one? Some people are angry that her stepmother could have stood for her. You know what? There are mothers who are watching their freaking husbands molest their own children, and they stay in the relationship, and they say they want to marry. That is not marriage. That is not marriage. Where we cannot protect our young ones, we are not fit to be called parents. I stand here. As I'm standing here, you could have been me. Yes. And I won't be alive today for anyone to come me to stand here.
They say they are out to raise an awareness over the continuous sexual and domestic harassment of the Nigerian child.
1 in every 4 girls and 1 in every 10 boys will face some form of sexual violence before they turn 18 in Nigeria. And our government isn't doing anything to prevent that. When we build a nation as a broken children, they don't have anything to give to our nation anymore.
Marching along the streets of the federal capital, they assembled at the Ministry of Justice to make their demands.
Am I saying something?
Yes!
What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want?
Justice!
We want justice for Ochanya. Whoever stand or whoever is the will in the clog of progress in delivering justice for Ochanya is an injury to everybody alive. It's an injury to every girl child. The girl child must have right to education. The girl child must be protected. The girl child has dreams. She must be supported.
Ochanya did not need to die. A government that does not monitor the welfare of its children is a government that is not building a future of its nation. And we must demand accountability of our government and justice for Ochanya and every child that has become a victim of sexual violence in Nigeria. We're demanding for justice. We're also demanding for greater social welfare accountability from our government. How can a child be born and until a child dies, you have no account of how the child is treated by society.
Most of us here are old students of the Federal Government Girls College, Boko, the school where the late Ochanya attended before her demise. We want justice, to let the Ministry of Justice know that we want justice for one of us.
Until deterrents are available, there will be so many Ochanyas, more and more in our society. So we need to do something about it. And the right way is to have the political will, pass laws that are stringent, and enforce those laws.
You look around in this community, you can see that there is a primary school overlooking Ochanya's house. It is just a stone throw from the house, but I can tell you that this primary school is not functional. This was the reason why Ochanya left this community and ended up in this tragic manner.
Like you say, educate a woman, you educate a nation. This is a girl who's supposed to grow up to be a woman. Who knows what she would have become if this had not happened? But then it has to cut across. The boys, the girls, they need good education.
What they are supposed to do at the moment is to declare Victor Ogbanje wanted and launch a manhunt to arrest him. There are no two ways about it. They have to do that as quickly as possible. Not just Victor Ogbanje, including the sister, Winifred Ogbanje, who started the whole of this problem in terms of their online visibility. So if the police are serious in getting to the root of this matter, they are immediately required to launch a manhunt to arrest Victor Ogbanje. He cannot be hiding for 7 good years since Ochanya passed away. And you're telling us that you can't find him, whereas on a daily basis, journalists and civil rights activists are being arrested by police on flimsy issues of cyber bullying and all manner of issues that are related to politicians and the elite. We can't be operating like we are in Stone Age. This is the 21st century. Nigeria cannot afford to live in this manner. We're talking about a child, a teenager, a 13-year-old. What that tells us about Nigeria is that this country does not care about the vulnerable people. And for context, we must situate this issue in the right context. Because the Ogbujas are not acting alone. If you would like to know, this is a lecturer at the State Polytechnic in Ugbokolo. But he has the backing of top people because we are being harassed, intimidated, and threatened. In fact, my life is in danger. Since the resurgence the renewed cause for justice, I no longer stay at home because I know that they are against the advocacy that is going on, calling for justice. The groundswell of support has been overwhelming. And they don't want that. So with the support of their collaborators, they feel that they can bully people out of the struggle and then threaten them with death. Our parents are there in the village with no protection. I wrote several times. So these are the issues that are at stake.
Mr. Mayor, yes, just to confirm for us that information, because it's really, concerning and disturbing. When you say you're receiving threats, confirm for us how, text messages, calls, do you have evidence to prove, and from who?
Okay, now, this is the point. In 2018, when Mrs. Ogbanje was arraigned at the Federal High Court in Makurdi by NAPTIP, I went to the court to witness proceedings, and I was attacked by Mrs. Ogbuja's younger sibling, who is by the name Inaligu Ochiga. He came there with his goons, and then tried to harass me, and then at the end of the day, he told me categorically that I will deal with you. You will see what will happen to you in the course of this trial. And subsequent, my subsequent appearance in court, we were met with the same kind of treatment. I wrote a petition to the Commissioner of Police in Benue State, telling him about the threats that I've received verbally from the family of Mrs. Ogbanje, particularly her siblings. But they never did anything about it. I wrote the Inspector General of Police telling him that we need security, we need protection, including witnesses that were being intimidated not to go to court.
All right.
To testify in this matter. They are there. And for context, let me put it clearly in here now. They're talking about it. Let's be clear about this. They came out to say it. Even they were saying it, that they have the backing, they have the support of people who would help them. Someone, for instance, like Senator Abamuru, they said he could help them. He is the current Senate minority leader. But Abamuru came out to deny that he had no hand in it. But it became troubling because for 7 years, could you imagine for 7 years that the police, for such a despicable crime, the police has refused to arrest the principal perpetrator of this crime? That is shocking. It only tells you about what we do as a country. It tells you about the failure of government in fighting crime.